Around the world, 300 million people are currently celebrating the Persian festival of NoRuz.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
It's the spring equinox, the moment when the hours of night and day are equal, the start of spring.
When the sun changes its equinox, it is thanking God for sunshine now, and so let new life begin.
Tens of thousands mark the occasion in Britain too. My name is Shappi Khorsandi. I was born in Iran, but came to this country when I was 4.
So I'm Shappi, and I am a female Iranian stand-up comedian. The other comics backstage, they call me the box ticker.
Now I want my son to experience NoRuz.
Woo!
To discover how the festival is celebrated.
We have to put 7 things that start with S.
To understand that NoRuz is an ancient festival with roots in a faith that predates Islam and Christianity.
Fire is a medium. Through that, we are communicating with God.
This is the first year I thought I'm really gonna mark this, because he's 6 now and he'll notice and he'll remember.
Where are we going?
To the pet shop.
What are we going to buy?
A goldfish.
We're going to buy goldfish because for NoRuz, the Persian New Year, we set a special symbolic table out. And the symbol of life on that table is a goldfish.
What about that really sparkly one?
You want that one?
Just over there.
I'm a first-generation immigrant, and my son is half English.
That giant one looks really cool.
Yeah. So it's quite difficult to instill in this very English child, this is the Persian New Year, you will care about it.
Hello, yes, we would like one of these fine goldfish, please. Okay.
When we were young, my mum always made sure we celebrated NoRuz. This ancient festival has always been popular. In 1976, my parents moved to London, bringing my older brother Payvand and me with them. But we still mark the Persian New Year.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. In Iran, we have lots of different people from lots of different religions.
Oh.
And regardless of religion, everyone celebrates NoRuz. That's the festival that binds us all. I haven't been very Iranian in the last few years. I've sort of let it all slide. And I guess I want to reconnect with how it's all done.
Take care, bye-bye. Bye. Come on then.
It is NoRuz. This is a fish. Mama.
My mum Fatima and my dad Hadi have agreed to help me show my son how to do NoRuz Iranian style.
Think of a name, darling.
Goldie.
It's in here, everything's fine. You have your house spring cleaned, you buy new clothes, everything's got to be sparkling. It's all about positivity for the future. Okay, now, what do we have? What's the first thing we put on our have-seen table?
A goldfish.
What does the goldfish symbolise? What does it stand for? Does it stand for death?
Life.
Life. The have-seen table is the sort of centrepiece of the house. Now, Mama Fati grew this from a tiny, tiny grain.
It is everything we put in this table. It has symbolizing from birth and reborn. Yay! We have eggs.
Okay, you brought hyacinths for our table. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Just in the nick of time. Whenever I smell them, it just makes me think of my childhood.
There are 7 particular things, beginning with S, which is where the word have-seen comes from, 7 S's. This is called salmon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. This is called...
نه خوبه سمنوش.
Kind of a cross between marmalade and Nutella. This is sirke, it's vinegar. In the ancient times it would be wine, but over time some people have regarded wine as inappropriate for a half-seen table, so we have sirke. Vinegar as a wine substitute, which some of the parties I've been to...
And we cannot drink it because it is vinegar.
I just did a great joke. You interrupted my joke.
Sorry, I didn't laugh at your joke.
Let me... We celebrate the exact point of the spring equinox, so that to the second, you've got to be around the table and you all go woohoo when the clock strikes spring equinox. The last time that we celebrated NoRuz properly was before we went to university, my brother and I. But we kind of grew up a bit and no one knew exactly where they were going to be around the 20th or 21st of March, so it became less of a massive deal. I've made it traditional in my own way. It's not as thorough as some Iranian households' half-seen table. I think the ancestors would forgive just doing it with the odd plastic apple. So there we are. I don't want either of my children to feel bogged down by their heritage. I don't want to beat them about the head and go, this is what your ancestors did and you will love it. I think my generation didn't quite have that option. You know, it was very much like you will fly the flag and carry the torch. And it can be quite a burden because you feel whenever you speak, you feel that you're representing an entire people. You know, I remember as a child, we'd go and buy my NoRuz outfit and it was this sacred thing in the wardrobe that you couldn't touch until the actual day. And then like my Iranian friends would come around and I'd say, come and look at my NoRuz dress. And they'd be like, oh, it's lovely, and oh, it's my NoRuz shoes, and you didn't even dare touch them because that would make them not as new. So that's what we got excited about, Kaz, not blooming computer games, and we used to get excited. Not actually. Monkey.
NoRuz always coincides with the spring equinox. Each year it takes place on March the 20th or 21st. But what exactly is the equinox?
Well, it is a precise moment. And it's all to do with the fact that the Earth is actually tilted on its axis, which means for part of the year, the northern hemisphere, where the UK and Iran are, is tilted away from the sun. We get less sunlight, the days are shorter, and that's our winter. And then, as the Earth moves constantly in its orbit around the sun on the other side, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. And that means we have more hours of sunlight, the days are longer, and this is the summer. But exactly halfway between those 2 points, we have this point here. The sun is exactly over the equator, and at that precise moment, we have the spring equinox.
And that's the second that Iranians all over the world go, woo, Happy New Year!
Absolutely, that's what you're counting down to, that moment when the sun is precisely overhead at the equator.
So how did people in ancient times even know when the spring equinox happened, that all the fancy equipment that we have now?
In modern society, we're quite disconnected from what's going on up there in the sky, but for ancient cultures, this would have been the main way you kept track of the year, really. And so a lot of religious festivals around the world use the motions of the sun and the moon to mark out their calendar. The Chinese and Hindu calendars, and very famously, the Islamic calendar uses lunar months. And even the Christian calendar uses the motion of the moon to work out the time of Easter. But of course, with the equinox, this is a solar event, and many calendars also use the sun is in a special place to mark out moments of celebration in their calendar.
Like the Iranian New Year?
Absolutely.
Now, when I was a kid, I thought it was just Iranians that celebrated NoRuz. And then a couple of other Asian kids in my school would be like, oh, Happy NoRuz. I was like, oh my God, how'd you know about it? How'd you know about it? And as I got older, I realised that it is celebrated by the wider Asian community. So that's what I want to find out about. When I was growing up, the hub of our Iranian community in London was Rostam School.
The year 2 class have got together and they're painting their eggs for the half-seen table.
Brilliant. The the school was very big on keeping up tradition. And this army of beautiful, glamorous, wonderful Iranian women shepherded us children through our Iranian culture and made sure they instilled in us this idea of being very comfortable with where we're from and the way we celebrate stuff.
I used to go to this school from when I was 7 years old, and I was in the same class as my friend Elham. And who's Elham?
My mum.
Your mother. You look every bit as beautiful as your mum. Do you like Eid al-NoRuz?
Yes.
What's fun about it?
You can also give goldfish, and the goldfish I bought last time is still alive.
Are they still alive? Well, you must look after your goldfish very well. That's what we like to hear.
I called it Goldie.
Oh, do you know, we bought a goldfish today, and I think my son's going to call it Goldie as well.
It'd be very interesting to know how other people celebrate it and how scattered all over Asia are pockets of people that do NoRuz.
Tell us about who celebrates NoRuz.
All countries like Iraq, Iran, Pakistan and Turkey, they all celebrate NoRuz.
It's like right now in the UK there's lots of NoRuz celebrations because it has a very large Iranian population as well.
Do you have any idea about the root of NoRuz?
It started in the Persian Empire, which was like 2,500 years ago. Like it's been celebrated for a very long time.
As you can see on the map, the Persian Empire was a massive land from today's countries like Pakistan and India to the Nile in Egypt.
The roots of NoRuz are actually not very well known because it goes back so many thousands of years. We have got specific documentation from about 2,500 years ago when NoRuz was celebrated.
What I know about the origins and the roots of NoRuz is that it's ancient tradition. It comes from the Zoroastrian people, the Zoroastrian faith, who of course were the original Iranians were Zoroastrians, which was one of the first monotheistic religions, precedes Islam, Christianity.
Zoroastrianism was once the official religion of the Persian Empire. But after Arab conquest in the 7th century, many Zoroastrians left Persia. They created a new community around Bombay or Mumbai in India, where they were known as Persian or Parsi. They have also been celebrating NoRuz here ever since.
I love telling my friends, oh, it's a Zoroastrian festival, because often they thought that meant we were followers of Zorro. I quite enjoyed not many people knowing what Zoroastrian was. It just sounded so deathly exotic.
One of the best-known Zoroastrians certainly lived up to this glamorous image.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender.
Freddie Mercury was from a Zoroastrian family.
I'll always walk around like a Persian popinjay. That's part of me, and no one's going to stop me, honey.
I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no.
Freddie's sister remembers how proud he was of his Persian roots.
There must be more to life than this.
Freddie was born Farrokh Bulsara, and that name is Persian or Parsi. And both my parents were born in Bombay. Mum and Dad were religious. They would do prayers every day. And we as a family were very proud of being Zoroastrian. My religion is a very, very ancient Persian. So that's why not many people have either heard of it or understood it.
I had this perfect dream.
I think with Freddie, what the Zoroastrian faith gave him is to work hard, to persevere,
Let the songs begin.
and to follow your dreams.
After Freddie's death, his family held a service here at the Zoroastrian Centre in Harrow in London.
I think when the prayers take place and the priests are all dressed in white, and then we have the little urn with the fire, and you concentrate on your prayers, and it just makes you feel at peace near your God, and it's just very special.
Zoroastrianism was founded by the prophet Zoroaster around 1500 years before Christ. It's one of the earliest religions to believe in one God. But its followers are sometimes mistaken for fire worshippers because of the use of fire in their rituals.
Fire does seem very central to celebrations and to prayers. So what is the significance of fire?
Not only fire, as a matter of fact, but so do the other natural creations, the waters, the sky, the mountains.
So that's what fire would be. Fire would be
a medium, a vehicle of which, through that, we are communicating with the Almighty Creator God.
In the week before NoRuz, parents bring their children to the centre to celebrate. And to hear the Zoroastrian story of the first NoRuz and its hero, Jamshid.
The story of Jamshid is very similar to the story of Noah and the Ark.
When God called to him and said, "Jamshid, beware, soon evil will send a really long winter."
NoRuz was initiated by Jamshid after the bitter winter which the world suffered.
It snowed and snowed, but for 40 months, Jamshid, the people and the animals were all warm and safe inside the cave.
So spring is a new beginning, is a time of happiness and joy.
The snow had melted. Everyone slowly emerged from the cave. The new day, or NoRuz, had arrived, and that's why Zoroastrians call it Jamshidi NoRuz to this very day.
I find this all really fascinating, knowing that this beautiful celebration that I grew up with, and then speaking to yourself and really understanding about these ancient traditions that in some way are so different to the way I've celebrated it, but the essence of it is actually untouched and remains exactly the same.
It's not only Zoroastrians who mark the festival in fire. 2 days before the equinox is the most exciting evening of the festival for Iranians. And it's all about fire.
Well, tonight is Charshambe Suri, the favourite festival, particularly of children, because they get to jump over fire.
This year, we're doing our own thing in the back garden.
Now, we're going to jump over the fire. You know why we jump over the fire?
No.
Well, we jump over the fire because we give the fire all the bad feelings we might have, all the bad things that might have happened in the year. We just throw it in the fire and we forget about it. And from the fire, we get the light of life. We get all the good things and all the happy things for the rest of the year. We say, "Sorkhe to as man," that means your rosiness to me. Zadir man as to, my yellow rubbishy feelings to you. Ready?
Yeah.
Good. بریم سرخی تو از من زردی من از تو. He's jumped over fire, but with an adult holding each hand and, you know, literally kind of lifting him safely over the fire. This year he's 6, and he's quite a bold 6-year-old, you know, and I think this year might be the first year where he has the confidence to jump over a little fire on his own. Do you fancy
I'm going to do it on my own.
On your own?
Yeah.
You think you can?
Yeah.
Come on then. Very excited, proud moment. Now it's Sora Khair, twice, man.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Let me hold your hand.
No, no, no.
Sora Khair, twice, man.
I'm really scared.
Sora Khair. Yeah, man, that's cool. Good boy. That was your first fire jump in the room.
I'm going to do it again.
Oh, now he's having NoRuz was the time of the year where you felt that everything was happy and joyous and everyone came together. Okay, come on, Mummy. Sorkhir toaz man, zadi manas to. And the spirit was just, your spirit was lifted.
With just 24 hours to go, it's time to prepare the NoRuz feast. Showing me how it's done is another well-known Zoroastrian who was born in Bombay and came to this country over 20 years ago. TV chef Cyrus Todiwala.
I am making what we call save, and that's vermicelli. So this is very Persian in its origin.
Rishte.
Rishte you call it, is it?
Yeah. Okay.
So in goes my vermicelli, which is broken.
On NoRuz, on the day of the New Year, this is what you will sit down and have for breakfast.
First thing in the morning. Mom would be up at 4 o'clock making all this stuff. You can always get the aromas in the house already. The cardamom, the rose, the vanilla is already flowing in the house, you know.
Yeah.
Then she'd make the house pretty. The garlands would come. There'll be garlands on every door. The lamps would be lit, the diva, when Dad starts to pray first thing in the morning. What we'll do is that because the oil is hot, I'll just fry the nuts. So we got cashew nuts, almonds, pistachios, and sultanas. Okay?
In my family, you're decked out in new clothes, everything has to be clean, and children get money as gifts.
Same. You might get a small envelope with a little bit of money inside.
Yes.
Oldest aunt would always give me just 2 rupees. But that 2 rupees meant a lot to me. And some of those envelopes I've still not thrown out with the 2 rupees inside. They're still with me. In the tray in the corner there is some rose water.
Rose water.
Most important.
I've got a...
How much do you reckon? Go on, you put.
Oh, can I tell you what that smells like to me? That smells like my grandmother's suitcase whenever she came to visit from Iran. Everything smells of rose water.
It does.
Oh, Granny.
It is quite a bit. Go on.
Right. How much should I put in that
Hey,
much?
go for it.
I go for it, what?
Yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it.
Okay. Most Iranians, regardless of their religion, they celebrate NoRuz. So on the actual day, religion doesn't play ever such a massive part.
Correct.
But for you guys, you pray on... It is about religion.
It's about both things, yes. The Zoroastrian believes in light. Sun gives life. When the sun changes its equinox, it is now out. So it is thanking God for sunshine now, and so let new life begin. So if you're talking about spring, you're talking about growth, you're talking about fresh plants in the soil, everything else.
And gratitude. You're talking about gratitude.
Gratitude. So it's all about that. So, madam, all done? Will you try some?
Yes, please. Immediately.
Shall we start with the save?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do that. So I'll bring that forward a little bit.
Oh, that's just incredible.
All together.
Oh, my goodness. For me, it's like visiting an old friend. It's kind of home. It's lovely.
Well, that's actually quite nice to hear.
What really struck me talking to Cyrus was the religious aspect of NoRuz, because for my family, religion or God doesn't really play a part in the actual festivities as much as it does for Parsis and Zoroastrians, but the essence of the celebration is the same. It's about celebrating light, it's about rebirth and regrowth and looking to the future with positivity. It's NoRuz, get excited! Woohoo! Come on!
The big day has finally arrived. It's March the 20th and my family is gathering to celebrate NoRuz.
Cousin Layla has come all the way from Lincoln. And she's half Iranian like you.
The spring equinox can happen at any point of the day or night. Luckily this year, it's in the afternoon.
We need to change you out of your clothes, wear your fancy NoRuz clothes. I bought you some new clothes today. Are we going to do some Iranian dancing later?
No.
At the Zoroastrian Centre, 500 people have gathered to celebrate NoRuz.
What's been really great is properly finding out about NoRuz and reconnecting with what an ancient ritual it is. And how the things that people celebrated thousands and thousands of years ago are exactly the things as human beings we want to celebrate now.
The house has been spring cleaned, our negative thoughts have been thrown in the fire, and we're decked out in our best clothes. We're ready to welcome in the new year.
I forgot quite how Iranian we are. You know, there's been singing and dancing and everyone's been in a good mood.
Right, we've got 42 seconds left, 40 seconds left.
39, 38.
The moment of the equinox, 4:57 and 7 seconds precisely, is almost here.
Da,
no,
hash, half, shish, hand, char, se, no, yes. Actually, what we're celebrating is spring.
Give your mother a kiss. Happy NoRuz.
Happy New Year, I love you. And just letting go of all our worries. We want to celebrate a new year and joy and hope. It feels kind of beautiful to know that as human beings we haven't changed at all, you know. We still want hope and we still want rebirth.
Wiggle your hips. Look, wiggle your hips like this. That's it.
I'm no longer going to treat it as something that we did when we were children.
Happy New Year.
I think I'm going to do this every year. It's been lovely.